Groggily, I check the clock beside my bed and grimace. It's 0:21 already, which means only a maximum of 6.5 hours of sleep for me now. Great. I close my eyes tight and urge my mind to shut off, but as reluctant as it always is. My consciousness remains occupied with disconcerting thoughts. I try and subside my paranoid deliberations. I drag my fun-fair trophy towards me in a tight embrace. The now somewhat scraggy bear, easily the size of an older child, had been won at the town's annual fair for me by my father 8 years ago. It had taken a tedious amount of whining and crocodile tears on my behalf for him to try keeping. After a total investment of £12, the bear was mine, and I had kept it in my bed ever since. In troublesome nights when I found myself consumed in nightmarish fantasies, the bear always brought some kind of comfort. It was always cold, which is somehow pleasing within the warmth of the duvet, and despite the fact that its fur was now matted and unkempt, it was always cozy to cuddle with. Even when I wasn't hugging it, the bear would sleep under the duvet beside me, and during the night I'd be able to feel its coldness beside me. I never felt alone in the bed. And now, in the early hours of the morning, I cling to it like a child. The familiarity of the odd, fairly unpleasant smell it had acquired over the years calms my frantic mind, and I feel myself slipping into deep minutes. Half asleep, half aware, I feel a movement beside me, a gentle tug of the duvet. It is enough to widen my eyes and quicken my heartbeat. I find my vision locked on the wall opposite of me. Suddenly, my heartbeat slows to a near stop as fear soars through every inch of my body. 2 words can be read, albeit distorted and indistinct, but visible, all the same. Don't look. Beneath the writing was a downwards pointing arrow which indicated the only one logical location. The sight of a grotesque scrawling sends a sharp shiver along the length of my spine as my brain feverishly searches for a rational explanation for what I'm seeing. For many nights now it had happened, this exact situation. I would awake in the vacant darkness, and the only thing I'd be able to see was the message. It would never be there when the sun surfaced from the horizon, but I'm confident to say that, on all the occasions, I was not asleep. It has happened frequently over the past few years. A strange feeling of movement from within the bed would pull me from sleep, and then I'd see it. Each time a theoretical battle between curiosity and irrationality would transpire in my subconscious, and irrationality remained champion. Until tonight. Tonight I feel more compelled than ever just to look. Just valiantly climb out from the bed, fill the room with light, and put my mind at ease. The knowledge that there is nothing under there would surely resolve my spurt of insomnia. And yet, I am still reluctant. A typical childhood is spent fearing endless forms of monster that could be lying under your bed, concealed in gloom, embracing the obscurity of the shadows. Such a fear becomes embedded in the darkest regions of the mind. And even now, I daren't put my legs over the edge of the bed in case something wraps its cold, slender fingers around them. The distance from the bed and the light switch isn't long, but in the dark, it would be an eternity. I'm going for it. Oh God, I am out of the bed, and my legs are monster hand-free. I pause to admire my fearlessness before taking a small step. A very quiet step towards the wall. I take about 4 before another sound revives. The creak of the floor. The bed. The bed creaks, a subtle sound, but audible enough to freeze me completely. The bed frame has long outlived its prime time, and so the bars underneath are weak. So weak that even the slightest movement can be heard. It creaks again, louder this time, as if weight were shifting from one position to another. Suddenly there is a scratching sound, pointed nails against metal, slow, loud, terrifying. I find a sudden energy within me to move my feet once more, big strides this time. The scratching does not subside. It is now accompanied by a raspy, deep breaths. Each inhale sounds like a struggle for air. The exhale is silent. As I near the wall, the volume increases, and it seems to get closer and closer and closer. What appeared to have emanated from the bed now shadows me as I fumble the eerie black for the light switch. Come on, I urge, adamant that I do not stand alone in this room. The uncomfortable feeling of being watched strikes me from all directions, and I cannot escape it. Something vindictive lurks, and it is waiting. My fingers locate the switch, and I press it without delay, spinning as I do face the now lit room. Empty. The wall is barren, the bed unharmed. The outline of the bear beneath the duvet is apparent, but of no concern. I sigh, with both relief and frustration, my own imagination. Now I can settle in this stupid situation and finally get some rest. The clock reads 2:49. I move towards the bed with courage, now protected by light, and drop down on my knees so that I can see underneath it. And there, at the far side of the floor, alone and particularly concealed by the dark, is my bear. But a comforting sight! I quickly drop onto my belly and drag myself underneath to grab the bear. I get about halfway under when realization hits me like a ton of bricks. The bear is underneath the bed. And what's in it? At this point, the creaking restarts, and I can feel the weight above me on the bed. The horrifying sound moves from the right side of the bed to the left. Silence then falls upon the room. I can barely breathe. I see a shadow cast beside me, round like a head. It's looking at me, biting my lip. I turn my head so I can see what I have been sharing my bed with every night. I see the monstrosity I have wrapped my arms around so tightly for comfort in times of fear. And it grins a satisfied grin with its grisly teeth. Hanging from the edge of the bed with a pair of black eyes that lock with mine, it whispers to me in an icy, malicious voice 4 simple words. You shouldn't have looked.